Okay, welcome to the stream. I am Reroll0, your host, and I took a break for about 2 weeks, and I'm sorry that I didn't upload in that time, but I was trying to reevaluate a lot of things in my life, and I realized that some or don't take this to heart, everyone, because again you have to go at your own pace, and you have to make sure that you know that you aren't rushing yourself to get to the that you feel comfortable recording and all that, because when recording and broadcasting to Twitch for a while, um uh I was I got a little bit more stressed out, and I realized a lot of the stress came from looking at the criteria for getting an affiliate, and I want to be affiliate because I want to get a job, which I'm trying in my, and I'm trying in my real life to get a job as well. But I look at the criteria, and I think I always stress that I'm going like I'm never gonna get that, because I think um um uh I'm trying to at the very least significantly try here, and and try to stream something like like a podcast, or at least a talk show on Twitch. I know it's like for the most of the talk podcasts or whatever on Twitch, they already have a significant audience, but it's really difficult to stream stuff without video games. But at the same time, I'm almost glad to be streaming without a video game in a sense, because it kind of you kind of have more free reign to talk, and your mind isn't taxed to focusing on the video game. Because I think when I streamed a lot beforehand, like maybe, what was it, probably like 6-7 years ago, when I was originally streaming on Twitch, I was focused a lot on the game. I couldn't focus on chat, and so, or I couldn't focus on another train of thought besides focusing on the game. So especially if it was a competitive one, I think it's like with a competitive one, you're more laser focused on the game, and you can't keep a consistently good conversation, I would say, going. Sorry, I haven't pulled a display capture yet, and now I will. So there it is. We're back for right now. Sorry, I'm still getting everything set up, and yeah. Sorry, just. But yeah, it's like you're so taxed, or you're so like focused on the game, that you don't have a chance to really like concentrate and focus on what you're talking about. And what I wanted to talk about today is something that I didn't want to mention during the Star Wars Battlefront one, and and sorry, we'll get to Star Wars Battlefront again in a second. Thank you very much, Shin. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Or that's what I was gonna share. Copy link. And go to share it to the group chat. There we go. Now I'll be back in a second. So again, thank you very much, Shin. It means a lot. So yes, coming back to I want to get the formalities of the way, as I like to try formalities of the way at the first place. Again, shout out to Shin the Legend. He's one of my moderators, and he helps me out a lot. He helps me out a lot with like mental health stuff, like just talking about it because mental health is really important to me. I mean, especially after my accident uh because it's like the issue doesn't persist itself, or you never figure it out or hear about it until, unfortunately, if you are unfortunately the example. So you have the accident or whatever, and then you're enlightened to, oh hey, project, I'm just starting the stream up. um but yeah, unfortunately, until you have the experience, or until somebody has the experience, you're kind of deaf or mute to it. And then when you have the experience, you're like, why aren't more talking, or why aren't more people talking about that? And that's kind of uh the same thing. Or I mean, you want people to talk about that. Like, it's kind of odd, and I've been really hesitant to do it, but like I at one point wanted to be, when I was at the facility for my accident. I kind of, and I've talked about it with a couple friends. I wanted to, like, you know be like a senator, or House of Representatives member, to get more legislation, or institutions passed for mental health coverage, or for more, I guess, more affordable care for mental health. Because again, mental health, it's kind of hard to, it's hard to say where it starts and ends and begins. So there's not clear definitions or clear barriers. So yeah, it's really difficult to, because again, with like, with like a physical issue, like if you say you had, thank you very much, Project. If you said, yeah, if you had a physical issue, like, I guess, you have a rash or something, right? That's just a rash, and so that's easily remedied. But again, with mental health, it's very, there's a lot of stigma surrounding mental health, and there's not enough talk being around it to. I know it's like, for 2020, there's so much stuff going on that mental health may not be in the forefront. But again, just, I'm not trying to police people, but again, try and be nice to people, try and be, understanding, and, continue from there. So again, I'm really thankful for Shin, and thank you again, Project, for hosting. Um, I'm also gonna shout out for Shrimpy. He's another one of my friends, and we talk about mental health as well. He's a really great guy, and if you check out his stream as well, uh, just check out the stream as well, and maybe I'll make a card for you, Project, soon, and put it for this when I have time to stream as well. I gotcha, Shrimpy. Thank you. And the last one uh is the change.org petition for the X-Men, or the Marvel X-Men costumes for Overwatch. Again, I don't like Overwatch, but again, this person's petition probably really means a lot to them. I think it's almost like near 300 signatures or something like that. So thank you very much, Spaz friend. I think it's been a while, and thank you very much. I think you're number 47, and we're so close to 50 for 50, and close to affiliate. I know I need to make the hours and get back up to it, but I guess I can't focus on that because that will get me stressed out. But yeah, again, the guy's petition means something to him, hopefully, still, and that, that could be, something future content for Overwatch or something like that. Wait, you hit 30 followers, or 30 30 30 what in Project, sorry. Um so what was I going to say? but also I was gonna ask, sorry, how are you all guys doing before I continue, and how are you, Spaz friend? Because I know, it's been a while since I talked to you. I mean, we text, but it's, um, oh, I got you 30 points in a game. I got you. That's pretty good. Nice. Um, but yeah, how's everybody doing? And what I wanted to get to is when I initially made the Star Wars Battlefront 2 video, I only recorded it in Audacity, and I think it's why, maybe why that video wasn't viewed so much, and also because I'm trying to just talk about Star Wars Battlefront base. A lot of people aren't interested in Star Wars Battlefront base, but also a lot of reviews for Star Wars Battlefront 2 will focus on this one word, and I said it in the description for the video, previously, like a month or two ago. And I say don't mention that cursed word, and the cursed word is loot box. And I would say loot box and battle passes are almost two of the same card, almost, I would say. Again, they have effectively predecessors, but why I include battle pass in there, it might be a little bit confusing, is, oops, I didn't put the image up there. So yeah, I have it from a Phantasy Star image. So oh, for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I gotcha, project. But anyway, yeah, so many reviews focused on saying, the buzzword loot box, and then when you're reading it, that's the only thing you're thinking about. And also, why I put Battle Pass up there, because, okay, so you buy the Battle Pass, right, and it's like $5, right, or like, how much is it, or however much it is. But there's no guarantee you'll get to the end of it right before the, the project ends. Sorry, the project, before, the season ends. So I consider that gambling, because sure, you get the first couple, but there's no guarantee that you'll have enough time to get all the items. So it's kind of splitting hairs, it's kind of splitting straws, but at the same time, that's the conclusion I reached. Loot boxes are currently there because, again, there's no guarantee what there's no guarantee what you're gonna get. So, and again, I know it's like a lot of loot boxes are being phased out, but again, there's still the idea of them. There's still the mechanic of, as a lot of people are apt to say, or a lot of people bring up, is, in Destiny, R.N.G, or random number generator, which, again, the term R.N.G comes from, like Dungeons and Dragons and older role-playing games, because, it was a 21-sided die. And what I was saying, it was, I'm sorry, I'll put up the chat in a second. There we go. So I'll be there for a second, or I'll pop back up. But again, yeah, I put the Phantasy Star picture over here. But again, yeah, it came from Dungeons and Dragons, 21-sided die. A lot of games use that as an example, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, which I found the most fascinating, because of course that will be mostly applied to, to item drops. But at the same time, I kind of wish they would have a better system in place to actively, not too rewarding, but not too withholding, so that you would have that nice kind of in the middle experience where it's like, it's not too good and it's not too bad. So you're never too happy or you're never too sad. So, but yeah, Knights of the Old Republic 1, I didn't notice it much. Knights of the Old Republic 2, I noticed it twofold, because when I played it last, which was last year, or 2019, when I went to Dantooine, right, they had this place where it's this lady that like scavenges the Jedi ruins or whatever on Dantooine, right, and she says, oh, here's my stock of all the stuff I got. And each time I was going like, I swear there was the turquoise lightsaber crystal, right? From previously playing in the past, and then I reloaded it each time because I really wanted that lightsaber crystal until I got it. And so I just was shocked that not just affecting item drops, but it will affect what's it called? Gosh, that it will affect store fronts, and I kind of almost know that why, because they have that in same thing with Phantasy Star Online and Diablo, that there will always be random items and weapons for to buy. But at the same time, I almost feel like that's not as bad in the storefront idea. I feel like it's always worse for like item drops and stuff. The funny thing is why I harp so much on Phantasy Star, because I Phantasy Star is one of the favorite things I know, and something with Phantasy Star is what made it so that you would get more or less loot depending on what your preferences is. If you can see in the picture right there, those rainbows, that rainbow color thing right there, and I know I messed up. I should have put purple first, but or I know now after looking at it, that you getting one of those badges, and getting those badges culminated with spelling your name with specific characters. Each specific character had their own like denotation or whatever, and so spelling your character a certain way would get you a badge that affected the item drop rates. And I just was going like, that's both like kind of insidious and genius at the same time, because if you want specific items, then you would spell your character that way, but at the same time it may look really goofy and you may regret it. So yeah. But again, I did some slight research too on the Phantasy Star wiki, and apparently, I played it last, and I got that dark green one, the Rudia, which you're supposed to go. You only get you get a lot of shotgun legendary weapons, and then they said on the wiki you get less of some other item, and I can't remember. But also that red one, or the dark red one, is called Rodria, and I swear it used, before I found it out, I swear that badge or whatever used to give you like the best stuff. And the yellow one, the red one, and I think the white one, if you got those badges, they would give you like a even distribution of loot, or even distribution of treasure, which I thought was kind of, again, like I was saying, genius and insidious. Because again, like, it's just weird that I think they were inspired partly because Diablo was already out, but Phantasy Star was a series, but Online hadn't come out yet, so they wanted a a treasure system that, again, actively or, non-actively awarded players, treasure. And, like I was saying, I wanted a system in place that, was not, that didn't give you too much and didn't give you too little, so that, that you would have a consistently fun time with, playing the game and whatnot. So, so those are kind of the modern examples. Every like of role playing game on the planet has some type of R.N.G, random number generator thing on, and the most I would say is Destiny 2, and continuing that, or the go on from the factor in the random number generator, or R.N.G, into loot boxes, and then we go to Team Fortress 2. I remember that with Team Fortress 2, it was funny that like nobody had a problem with that, but as soon as Star Wars came out, Star Wars Battlefront 2 came on the scene with loot boxes, everybody had a problem with that. So I'm going like, why did Team Fortress 2 not get raised up earlier? Because nobody had raised any complaints about it. They thought it was, a system that was just and fair, and that's not the case. It's still gambling because you don't know what you're gonna get. Same thing with Destiny 2. And I think I already said in Destiny 1, the Destiny 1 or Destiny 1 and 2 video, that Destiny 1, I swear, was the most egregious thing that was annoying, is that things could downroll to the lower rarity, so you would get like awful. You sometimes it would downroll and then you would get really angry. So yeah, Destiny 2 same thing, but they have cosmetic items again, like with a lot of why loot boxes exist and all that. And there's no guarantee what you're gonna get with it either. So, but I don't know if you can buy those with the microcurrency. Microcurrency is another issue, and there's so much that we're talking about. I don't want to say too much in one video. Mobile games use this a lot too, and I would say it breaks my heart so much for Fire Emblem Heroes. Because it's like, for so long, I wanted to get the character Mia. I know she was not initially in the game, and right. R.N.G. again, like, I feel like they should have, again, like, try and deconstruct it to the point where it's like they have a more thought out and cohesive treasure experience. And again, I'm not trying to like bake it in or anything like that, but again, it's like, not too good and not too bad, but just in the nice middle. But not in not in an insidious middle where it's like, oh, that you're so like kind of like where the experience is so diluted that you're like, oh, I finally got something, okay, I'm happy, but then, took this time, but I just don't want it to be where it's like, but you know what I mean, I'm kind of rambling here, but, going back to, Fire Emblem, sorry, thank you for bringing that up, Project, but yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Project, again for R.N.G. because, sorry, I'm kind of repeating myself. But yeah, I think it's a little bit better in, massive, or MMORPGs, or, for those who don't play video games, massively multiplayer online role-playing games. It's a little bit better in those, like I was kind of saying with Phantasy Star and Diablo. Well, Diablo, let's say World of Warcraft, or Neverwinter. I feel like it's a little bit better than those because if it's something for your class, that will automatically go to you. But again, it's not guaranteed, so you may be doing your 50th run to get that hammer that you wanted. And but again, sorry, going back to Fire Emblem, I stopped playing the game for a while, came back to it, and then I finally got the chance to get Mia, and I was like, I was happy, but then I'm going like, well, now what? So, it happened so later in the context of the game that I was like, well, this, I didn't list it, but I feel like Sega Heroes has a big problem with that too. Especially for, like, characters from series that are added later. Like, I remember before the game shut down, before Demiurge bought their production studio again, Demiurge made Sega Heroes, and I was sad that they... Well, I mean, it's great that they brought their studio, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad that they stopped the game, which I don't know if it's still up or exists, so... But they added Virtua Fighter last, and then they added the Yakuza series characters as like the last thing they're working on. The first one was Kazuma Kiryu, and the second guy was Goro Majima. So they were adding that, and then they bought their production studio again, and then they stopped making the game. And again, I don't know if Sega got another development studio to continue working on that. But I feel like if that's making you bank, don't like cut yourself off. Continue making that bank, and then have enough money to go with projects in the future. Um, so yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes breaks my heart because again, like prior to my accident and I viewing it out, I think I have like again a, a shopping addiction or as an addiction to video games, and it's not great when you're like like you have so many shards or orbs or whatever, and you're going like, if I could just one more time, and it never happens until much later, and then you're like, again, like with a certain character, or when that certain character gets accustomed to, just oh my word, just all the microcurrency just goes towards unlocking that character, and it just you'll never get them until like way after the fact, after the drop rates are significantly lower, or that character is a standard character now, and then you're like, oh well, that was a waste of time. um so yeah, I again, like I didn't want to mention it initially in Star Wars Battlefront 2 because it everybody just focuses on that, and they don't like think about, like, they don't think critically about the enjoyable aspects of the game, or why in general they're um uh why what's enjoyable about the game. So many people focus on the negative aspects and they don't enjoy it for what it is. I know I would say that for Overwatch and Smite, but even then I would have to concede some enjoyable aspects of Overwatch or Smite. I don't want to give them too much crap. But again, like with Overwatch, is like there's a lot of even I didn't say that during the Overwatch video, but I should say it now, that like Overwatch has a lot of colorful cast of characters. Again, like Lucio is a dynamite character, and I don't know, um I guess 76 is a likable character too. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, Lucio is a dynamite character in general, and for Smite, I guess Smite, I will probably say I would default to Nox probably. Although I again, like, sorry, going back to Smite, which again they have loot boxes as well, so that's what I wanted to bring them up, and you get all the gems and all that. But again, like, Nox was probably the most enjoyable character, but I always was iffy about choosing them because again because I know it could backfire so much. Anyway, but yeah, I wanted to bring up Overwatch because they have loot boxes, and again, at the very least, for most mobile games and online games, loot boxes would give out a significant character costume. But again, that's not guaranteed. And for Overwatch, I think they have a rule where it's like, if you don't get anything good in the first 10 boxes, or your 10th or 11th one, will give you a gold item. And sometimes that's gold. And sometimes it's money, and it's absolutely infuriating. I know with Smite they do that as well. They don't give you currency back, which would be nice. And again, another high-res property, Paladins. Paladins, it's like very much like that. I almost was on the fence about roping in Warframe. Warframe, they don't have so much an issue with loot boxes, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. So yeah, I kind of wanted to end it there. I just wanted to write down just 2 questions, just in case, if I didn't have anything else to say. I wrote down, should loot boxes, battle passes be banned? I think, yeah, sure, eventually, but again, until they create a better alternative, sure, just keep them in the game so that, that they still have a way to generate revenue for the game, and even if, you know, they are, even though if they're problematic, I still they got to make money some way. If they're not selling the game at $60, then they're gonna get their revenue somehow. And our loot boxes battle pass is gambling. Yes, because there's no guarantee for loot boxes if you'll get those items, and there's no guarantee that you'll have enough time in the battle pass to get all items. So I consider those gambling, and I know it's like battle passes are probably a better alternative for loot boxes, but at the same time, there's no guarantees, and that's the definition of gambling. So yeah, thank you for jumping in, everybody. Thank you for following again if you're still here, Spaz friend. And I know if you just turn on the stream for, gosh, what's it called? Gosh, I'm trying to think of the word. During work, and thank you very much for jumping in. I don't have anything else to say. I guess the last thing I would say is that with Phantasy Star, I wish their drop rates were not as insane as they were. I think I saw that, like, some drop rates were in the, like, thousands, 8,000s, and, like, I'm going, like, I'm never gonna get that. Like, I wish, again, like, there was a consistent way you could get good treasure, and, that it would be not too great, not too, awful, so that would be in the middle. But again, I think that's too difficult for some people to figure out, so they're never gonna get to it. But you say we landed on the moon, yeah, but that hasn't happened for a while, and we haven't gone back there, so yeah. So anyway, thank you for jumping in, thank you for watching. I am your host, Reroll Zero, and yeah, thank you.